want to thank you all for coming, and we thought we would spare you the heat of the sun outside. So we're going to stay inside for this launch of this very exciting program. My name is Lynn Smith. I am Senior Vice President of Business and Community Development here at Stark Community Bank. And I'm just going to do a couple of housekeeping things. I'll introduce our CEO, who'll say a few words, and we have a member of the community who will also speak. For those people who are interested, we have copies of a press release available, copies of today's remarks available, copies of our brochures to take back to your organizations with you, and then of course we have the requisite lemonade and cookies that I was up all night making, right? So again, thank you for coming, and without further ado, I will introduce to you William H. Plackey, the CEO of Stark Community Bank.
Thank you, Lynn. This is what I call bringing the mountain to Muhammad. I was standing outside there for a few moments, and it's not only the hottest day of the year, I think, but the noise level is remarkable, so I hope you'll understand. Let me add my welcome to all of you today. I'd like to most especially acknowledge the presence of Mayor John DeStefano, and I'd like to acknowledge one of our other directors, Charlie Nagaro, who's standing over to my left. And also, it's remarkable to me and most gratifying that there are so many people here from organizations and agencies that help people day in and day out meet their dreams in New Haven, which is what we're attempting to do. And I'm very grateful for you all being here with us as we continue to bring innovative products and services to these neighborhoods. It's astonishing to realize that $1.5 billion is spent every year in this country on check cashing fees by hardworking people. That is equivalent to the face amount of $60 billion worth of checks. And $1.5 billion today doesn't seem like a whole lot, I suppose, because we now talk in terms of trillions of dollars. But it's reminiscent of a man that I think is one of the great senators of our country, Senator Everett Dirksen. Some of you may not remember him, but I do, from Illinois. And he had this great expression: $1 billion here, $1 billion there, and it all adds up. And so it's still a huge amount of money. What's amazing about this, by the way, is that as we go checkless, most of the checks that people cash are payroll checks, not government checks. So that makes it even more profound. So hardworking people every week of the year cash their check who do not have bank accounts. And why is that? Some feel that they just simply don't have enough money to make it attractive for a bank. Others, and I think this personally, I believe this is a large majority of people, they did and they do what their parents did. They go into the store, cash their check, and pay the fee without a great deal of thought. And still more, I would say, and speculate, are they just confused by the whole account opening process for a bank? The FDIC estimates that 3 to 5% of those people, we call them unbanked, who go to check cashing organizations, 3 to 5% of their income is spent on check cashing fees. Just imagine if that could be converted to savings account. $1.5 billion. I have to keep reminding ourselves of that. How many tuitions does that represent? How many I've got to get to work in my car payment does that represent? How many first-time home buyer down payments does that represent? The answer is it's huge. It's a lot. So today, with the launch of this program, if you don't have a bank account, or if you don't use your bank account, or if you were refused a bank account by someone, you can come to our bank, Start Bank, present your ID, cash your check, pay your fee, and then something extraordinary is going to happen. And here's how it's going to work. Remember the vacation club accounts. Remember the Christmas club accounts. What we are launching is what we are calling the Fee Keeper Club account. Here's the unique difference. Start Bank will take that check, take that fee, and turn it into a bonus deposit placed into a special savings account. I'll repeat it. We're going to take that fee and we're going to convert that to a special deposit in a special savings account every week, every month. Every time that a non-account holder comes in to cash their check with us. And then they'll be able to watch that level of savings, which is 0 when you go to a check cashing place, to 3%, to 5%, whatever the account holder decides. That's going to be up to the customer. But there will be a bonus on the bonus. Because if our new member hangs in there with us for 26 weeks, keeps those deposits, keep coming in, those bonus deposits, on the 26th week, we'll add another 10% up to $50 to that account. So why should we be doing this? Well, there are a couple of reasons. First, we're a little different. We're small, we're safe, and we're scrappy. I think a lot of people would suggest that we're very scrappy. But we're just the kind of community bank that ought to be in New Haven. This is just actually one more enhancement to a whole series of products that we offer that help people, working people, like a savings account which pays 50 times the rate that most large banks pay. And you don't have to start with $20,000, you can start with $20. Like our Second Chance account, like low-cost prepaid debit cards and MoneyGram to transfer money and walk-in bill pay. So we have a history of doing this kind of innovative product. Second, and maybe just as important, is I remember what it's like as a kid to bring quarters into the savings bank that I started with. Sliding those quarters under the slot, having a sense that this thing was going to grow and grow. And more important than anything else, that I developed a habit of savings. That's what this is all about. There's a remarkable book that's been published recently. It's called The Power of Habit. It's written by a man by the name of Charles Duhigg. He's a New York Times reporter. And in it, he suggests that habits, especially those that need changing, in all walks of our life, by the way, are overcome by learning new routines and practicing them over and over and over again. So as I think of this, I often think of a sports metaphor. And for those of you who are interested in golf, you know that if you have an outside-in swing plane, the almost 100% result will be a slice. And many of us have an outside-in swing. And so to change that habit is incredibly difficult. It takes practice, it takes coaching, it takes observation, it's all of those things. And the ultimate goal is to have an inside-out swing, which produces a draw. So that's about golf. I mean, this is incredibly more important because it's about life. It's about getting to your goals. And that's what this program is about. It's a little kickstart, as we say, to help people develop the habit of savings. to get them in the groove. That's the program. Now I'd like to introduce Mr. Michael Haynes of the Neighborhood Housing Services, just right up the street, who'd like to say a few words about how this program is going to help his first-time home buyer clients. Michael?
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me, and I agree that this program will provide a tremendous assistance to a lot of the people that we work with. We work with families that are trying to purchase homes, and unfortunately, a number of those families don't just have poor credit, they don't have bank accounts. And they utilize a lot of the check cashing companies or agencies as a way to deposit a check, get funds, what have you, but they have no mechanism to save or build on what they make. So this program will give a lot of the families that we work with an opportunity to not just build on their credit by having a bank account, but also save for first-time home buyer deposits and down payment programs. So.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Michael. We will look forward, as we will with all of the other agencies that help residents. We'll be looking forward to working with you. It's now my honor to ask Mayor John DeStefano to come and say a few words. Mr. Mayor.
Good afternoon, morning. How are we all doing? Good to see you all. Yeah, I'll say this about this, and I want to put it in the context of something. Yesterday, saw announced Alexion Pharmaceuticals coming to the city. 350 jobs, going to grow to another 200. What I liked about that was Alexion started in New Haven. It came out of science at Yale Med School. Lenny Bell, who was the Yale Med School faculty that started the company, lives in Woodbridge. In other words, it's what we do. It's authentic. It's who we are as a city. It's the city of New Haven, not as Providence or Bridgeport or Cincinnati. It's us. And I'll say this about this program. So much of what all of you do, and God knows some of us have been around a long time now. I think we've learned something, whether it's on Whaley Avenue or whether it's what our housing nonprofits do, is we have to count on one another. This bank, by this program, is making a real clear statement that it's not going to pocket the fees of people who can least afford it. Who are who? Our neighbors. These are people who live on Sherman Avenue or Winthrop Avenue or Edgewood Avenue. It's saying we have reason to want to invest in these folks. The banking community in this city is important. This bank is distinguished by one factor. It measures its return not just by its commercial activities, but by the strength of its constituents, the people who live around here and are going to be here. And I want us to remember, for those of us who have been around a long time, that if you think in the short history of this institution and its parent, it has funded the Elm City Resident Card, which is celebrating its 5th anniversary this July. The parent funded Roof in the midst of the foreclosure crisis. And now its subsidiary organization, the bank, is doing this. We all have a stake in the success of this institution and in the participation of this community in this program. We shouldn't forget that. Last thing, Bill, to you, but to every member of Start Bank, you guys are doing an extraordinary job. What you do, we all like to think what we do is different. I know, truly, I think we all like to think we make a difference. I'm in a room not just with the Start people, of people who are invested and do make a difference. You know, it is something you can bank on, you can count on, and it's who we can all count on, which is one another. So thanks, good deal, good job.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is very inspiring. I can hear that line. Thank you once again for joining us today. We need your help to spread the word. If we were simply to announce this in a newspaper ad, it wouldn't work. It has to be at ground level. That's what we've learned, that these products and services are best understood when they're explained at ground level. So we're hoping that you will pick it up with us, and when you work with your clients, you will explain this great new product. We hope that this will have a positive impact on the community, and we think this will be notable. It will be notable not only in New Haven, but we think it will be notable in the United States as a whole, because there are people looking at the whole impact of how habits are changed, how habits are especially changed when it comes to financial services. So thank you all once again for joining us. As Lynn said, we have some beverage and some cookies. I'd also like to add my thanks to that of the mayor, to my colleagues. A program like this is very simple in concept, but you know from your own experiences that it's extraordinarily difficult in its implementation. That is to make sure that we are in full compliance with all the laws, that operationally we are on sound ground, that we do a good job of marketing this. It's a very a complex job, and I want to thank my colleagues for helping launch this, most especially Lynn, whose idea this was in the first place. So thank you very much. Please stay.